It's been in the refrigerator. So let's just do defrost for 1 minute. It's not really going to do much. Margarine is not meant for baking. No. So for cooking, she used margarine. For baking, I'm guessing she used shortening. But I just remember her saying margarine a lot when she was in the kitchen. Yeah. Growing up, I thought margarine was butter. Yeah, I think it's interesting. So my grandmother used margarine, but my uncle, who raised me when I was little, he used butter. But he was a trained chef, and so I think he was trained like French, traditional French style, because he made me like a bunch of French omelets. And that dude used butter for everything. But it's funny because he grew up eating margarine, but I think because he was trained by French chefs, he used butter for everything. Lots of butter. Also, if your butter is salted, cut back on salt. Oh yeah, no, I'm not allowed to buy salted butter. Chat yelled at me a lot. In the beginning of my streaming, one of the first things chat flipped me shit about was that I was buying salted butter. I buy salted butter because it's more stable at room temperature for longer. And, you know, we have the butter out for making grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff. And chat yelled at me, and they're like, don't do that. So I stopped buying salted butter because chat screamed at me too much. So I don't do it anymore. All my butter's unsalted. Yeah, all of it. I did get some Kerrygold butter, and because I love Kerrygold butter. And then I also got some French butter, which I don't know what the difference is, but it was on sale at Fred Meyer, and I was like, French butter sounds fancy. So I bought a box. Okay, 1 teaspoon baking powder. Powder. I'm surprised there's not more Southern recipes in here, because my grandmother grew up, I think she, as a little girl, grew up in the South. I know my grandpa grew up in the South, like Alabama, and then they moved to Southern California. No. My grandmother's from Washington. My grandpa grew up in the South. He's from Alabama. My grandmother, I think, is from Washington. She grew up north of here. And I moved all the way around, and the fact that I ended up settling down back in Washington is kind of funny. I actually wanted to go and see if I could find the old farmhouse that my grandma grew up in. I have a picture of it, and I know the city, and I'm sure if I did a bunch of Ancestry.com stalking, I could probably figure out where the address is to her old house. Teaspoon. But I've never gone that far. I will say I was very into Ancestry.com stuff, and I actually got our lineage back to the original lady, on my paternal side. I guess she's my great grandmother? Lena's mom, I think. I traced her back from Ireland.